Ever feel like you're the only one with questions about life? Well, you're not alone.
Welcome to People in the Room here on PAL Radio 96.9 FM every Friday at 11 a.m. where we dive into the topics that matter most to you. We are talking about what is on your mind, from faith to friendships, work to wellness.
It's real talk, real faith, and real answers. You're not just listening, you're part of the conversation.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet an amazing episode of People in the Room, an episode that goes out each and every Friday at 11 a.m. and on Saturdays at 3 in the p.m.
Woohoo!
Yep. And today in the room, who do we have in the house?
Where should we begin?
They always say ladies first, but men before. So, Kingsley?
I never heard of that really, but hey, I'm Kingsley Oluoko. Really happy to be back for a second consecutive episode.
Yes.
Of People in the Room here, and I know we're gonna speak greatly and get some insights on the topic for today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Mi najulikana na majina mingi lakini Samuel Foro. This is my first episode.
It's your debut.
It's my debut.
Yes. Karibu. Your seat was vacant.
Oh yeah, so the lady in the room.
Yes.
Stella is my name, lakini watu wananiitanga Stizi ama Stells. Vile unajifeel.
Okay.
That is me. First time as well.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. Welcome to the debut of Steezy and Foro.
Yay.
And I'm going to be your host of today. My name is the Gas Master, Aplos Aswani. And I don't know, have you seen the buzz that is happening online? I feel like each and every artist, especially international artists, they're all doing different tours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen like, I don't know if you've heard of Alex John. Yes.
Who's
he's
that?
doing, you need to do your research in music.
I think
I
he
need
was
to.
ill, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He cancelled one of his
Gospel,
tours. Was it to Toronto or
otherwise.
something?
Yeah, he cancelled one,
Yeah.
but at least he has done a
Okay,
couple
his
of them.
reason?
Yes.
That's nice. I love his bass.
He's a gospel artist.
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
Hey, sawa.
Are you in the right podcast?
I am. I just need to be diverse.
Oh yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, and also they are like, we have Chandler Moore actually, who is the 254 right now actually, because today he's going to be having a show.
Okay.
If I'm carried, I don't know
Okay.
if you guys have tickets already.
Oh yeah.
I only know the answer.
Hey,
Twice is the answer.
He's in the 254
no.
for the Obama tour, yes. Yeah, which is doing like, and on Wednesday he was at Nigeria.
Lagos.
Lagos.
Alafu, I think the following day was in Abuja.
Yeah. Oh, nice. And now in the 254.
And this is his second time
Yes, because like last year he had come for
under Maverick.
with Maverick. They were
Okay.
doing a tour. I don't remember the name of
Kingdom.
The Kingdom tour.
Yeah.
Yes. Sawa pole. Yeah. And with the whole buzz of tour also, like, was it? I feel like now it's 2 weeks ago, early this
Yeah.
month,
Yeah.
the month of March,
Yeah.
we had Limo Blaze
Limo
in
Blaze.
Yes.
the 254.
And Joe.
Yeah.
Joel Band.
And my praise that also we get to see Kenyan artists now going for tours out.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah,
Hey.
we are receiving
Yeah.
too much, but the hand that giveth is the one that is more blessed. So
Yeah.
tupeane huko kwingine pia.
Yeah,
Manze.
totally. Like, in the
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
speaking of which, have you seen, I've not seen any gospel artists do like a big tour apart from Evelyn. I remember sometime last year she actually did a whole tour, but it wasn't like your tour like doing concerts.
Okay.
Alikuwa anafanya in different churches.
I think also this yule mwanake siku nene, what is his
Benache.
name? Benache also he does to us.
Yeah,
I think he
yes.
also does. Yeah, and a
Amazing.
few others.
Who would actually in the 254
Yeah.
do like such a like big tours like how Kina Nini are doing, Kina Alex, Kina Limo Blaze.
I'll pray the doors for Manolo to
Manolo.
go up.
Oh,
Yeah. I think Manolo will do a great job in performing both and even the quality of his songs.
yes.
Right.
Yeah, and of course maybe performing artists, the worship bands. The worship bands, maybe Karura Voices.
Karura
will also
Voices.
do
Yes,
well
I
because
was
they know how to
actually-
interact with the crowd.
Yeah. I was thinking
Yeah.
of Pitson
Oh,
as
Pitson,
well.
yeah.
yeah.
Most
Hey,
especially
Pitson.
because like how we have recently been signed by the record label.
Yeah, UMG.
Universal.
UMG.
Universal East Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for you,
Mimi.
Wewe tukupeleke tu.
Which is that one artist, gospel artist, will like, oh, this one will nail it when he or she does that tour?
Me mostly. Let me just speak it out.
Yeah.
Mostly, I don't listen. Mostly like Kenyan
Kenyan.
gospel.
Why?
Oops.
Where?
You know, charity begins
Hey.
at home. Charity begins at home.
I know, but mostly siskizangi. But
Yeah.
recently I've started to listen.
Yeah.
Among the many artists that you've started listening to.
Yeah, like sijakuwa nikisikiza sana like I
just
just
like snippets here and there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But recently like a group that naweza ona ikikam like venye amesema Karura Voices is one, and the other one I see like Pambio will come.
Pambio.
Yeah, Pambio worship.
Yeah. I feel like
Interesting.
the sound of Pambio is actually really coming up so well.
Yeah. Pambio were here, I think, over the last week, part one. And
Yeah.
Foro was so excited.
Oh, no wonder. No wonder.
You shared some
We
photos online, and I was like, okay.
Okay.
Like I see Pambio coming to also come.
Yeah. Actually, I feel like
Chats.
with the help of Uncle Kanji, because like they work in hand with Kanji
Hey,
Mbugua,
by the
Yes.
way.
it would be so easy for them because
Yeah.
like, you know, Kanji is
Kanji,
stationed
yeah.
abroad, and
Yeah.
so he
He's-
might
yeah.
pull his strings together
Hey,
and make it happen. Speaking of which, let's get into the topic of the day, and that's all about Christian partying. Basis and context probably to give is when Limo Blaze came to the 2-5 floor, he did his Young and Chosen tour, like the concert, in Nairobi Street Kitchen. And which ended up being like, so I personally attended the event, which ended up being so superb. And it wasn't the first time we're having such like a Christian concert in maybe, let's say, a club setting. So they had been hosted by the third service. That service, like normally like quarterly services that happen in the Nairobi Street Kitchen, whereby tuenda kubanjuka tukiwa hapo as Christians. Yeah. And I love to know what you think about Christian party.
Why would he not go in a church?
like
Yeah.
Chandler.
Yeah, like Chandler
Anaenda Sitam Karen.
Okay, I'll pose this question
Okay.
as well. What's the problem with going to NSK?
What's the problem of not going to church? I will ask. Let's look for venues that are sacred.
Oh,
That
so
are
you
purely sacred. That we are not having mixture of spirits. Maybe leo Jehovah Wanyonyi, kesho siku mwingine. Another one is coming. This one is serving the Lord of the Mountains. Let us have one venue that is sacred, consecrated for gospel events, and then so that we do our gospel events. That not today. The venue, not sure if I can mention it, is doing a clubbing event, alcohol and all that, and then we dedicate a particular day for a church event.
No, you know, it's like NSK is just like a events place, like events venue.
Yes.
Just like right now, if like you're having a wedding, you'll go and hire tents.
Yeah.
And tomorrow the same person, will, like a different person, will come hire the same tents, take the tents to a barrio, maybe kama ni disco matanga, waitumie. Like you can't really tell hii tent imetumika wapi na wapi. It's because they serve the purpose of hapa watu wakijikinga na hizi tent hawataumia kwa jua ama kwa mvua in case it rains. The same thing with NSK. It's just like an events place.
But you know, it's also an altar. Like people were saved. You guys had Holy Communion.
Yes.
So altars never move.
Yeah.
Like altar ni hapo. So when this altar, badilika, if perhaps Foro got saved there, and then siku ingine akitaka kuomba, akikumbuka where he got saved, anaona people are all
No, the same thing. Like when you're having like maybe let's say like these big events in churches and probably you're hosting like watu wengi unapata hadi mna hire tents. Now sometimes in such events people also share the Holy Communion.
Okay.
So you can pull that card because so watu wenye watakuwa saved na hiyo tent. Hizi tents maybe zitumika mahali regardless for secular events.
No, but you know the venue, it's like the ground.
I am thinking tukisema like twende na sasa like a Christian venue like kukwena a specific venue for Christian whatever
Yeah.
events. It means that hizi zenye zinakwanga kwa street hapo CBD. Pia hizo zitakuwa like zikwe cancelled because now CBD pia iko na mixed spirits like today.
But you know, when you're doing evangelism, maybe door to door, you never know where you are going to run into or who you're going to run into. You know, so like for one that you mentioned for streets, perhaps that's evangelism.
Yeah.
So you can run into an unbeliever, and that's the essence. But an event where you guys have planned, have organized, have
Yeah.
sat down, have sold tickets, have removed posters, all that at a
Yeah.
secular location.
Location.
Really?
Hapo ndio.
What defines
Okay.
a secular location, if I might say?
What defines a gospel location?
Tell
Because
us,
of the
because you're
altar,
saying-
of the altar, the sanctity of the place, the
Yeah.
respect that we give,
Yeah.
whatever activities we do there, all that defines a
You're saying there's a potential for like a worldly influence when you work at these events in some place like Nairobi Street Kitchen.
You're saying there's a potential of?
Worldly influence.
Yes, they are great potential because that day the bars will just be closed.
Right.
But they can be opened.
Right.
Yeah.
After maybe Aishie.
I share I just dish out and get my something and then come back.
I get
know.
you.
Furo, what do you think?
Me Kenya naeza anza na like people do say like where two people are gathered. No, listen. This is the
Where
saying
2 or
that you
3
should-
are gathered.
Sindio?
Yeah.
But like I don't see like it was an event. Yes, it's a Christianity event done in an unsacred place, as Kingsley is saying. Like, but you want people to get to be saved. Na and you want to connect to like unataka connect na like every dynamic of aging, like ages zote una get.
Yes.
That's a good
Like,
point.
You want to reach to the old, to the Gen Zs, or to the youths. Like
Yeah.
you want to get you unataka ku reach. So wanakuanga wapi mostly. So you get them there. You preach the gospel there, and then you get people saved from there. I get.
Yeah.
For me, I say it like it doesn't matter kama it's an unsacred place. Even if hata kama ni sacred place, kuna mtu tu ataingia like unapata kwa kanisa anybody, let's say anaweza kuja akiwa mlevi that morning aseme
Yeah.
like I want to get saved.
Yes.
So like it's the same thing like even if you're speaking about altars and whatever like nini, like I saw that like the event I supported it like let do it, preach the gospel to people, like connect with everybody.
Yeah.
I get. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I hear what you're saying. He's pulling the evangelism card and getting people at a central location.
Right.
Yeah.
But Apollo's raised the question of what's your take on Christian clubbing?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that means you're calling Christians. There's
It's not limited. Like, let me tell you, you wouldn't say just because like Christians go to church. Will you say like just church is for Christians?
But what's the likelihood of how many people are going to be saved there? Very few.
For-
as compared to like an evangelism mission.
Really? Like,
Yes,
actually,
like
I
let me
feel...
ask, in your church, watu wenye wanasimamanga wameokoka hiyo siku ni wengi kushinda wenye wanakuanga hapo?
No. I see. What I'm trying to say is watu nyatoka kwa that particular event that is hosted there ni wengi kuliko nyatakuja church na waokoke. Hear me out. You see, normally there's something like called the this monotony ama ndio there's a monotony in a way. Even in your working place sometimes you get like you're being told do this you're used to doing that particular thing. And when it comes to sometimes when maybe it's time for brainstorming, you're thinking about a new strategy, normally you get like most organizations take their employees somewhere different. Ndo kuna ka vibe kana kujanga like there's si kawaida.
I hear
you know
the
same way with this particular event. Like there are people I feel like who will relate to, especially to the youngings, if you want to attract them. You preach to them, unawakujia kidesign yao venye Furo alikuwa anasema. So ukipeleka kwa hiyo event like this is a cool place, kwani hii place nikienda I know I'm going to find young people like me and I'm not going to be judged, you know, and slowly you're attracting them. By the time when I realize jota nasemanga unasikianga mostly we kuja tu okoka venye uko, come as you are, but ukiwa hapo God atadili na wewe.
Yeah.
I hear
Okay.
you, but
So
you know what?
You know what?
I think there's an intentionality.
Uh-huh.
I know there's the aspect of the central place. It's a central location. You'll get people from all walks of life, and then you want to have it Gen Z like and getting
Right.
out of the four walls of the church and all that. There is all that aspect, but my challenge will be then if we can have event organizers coming up with locations that are just tailored for the youth, Gen Z, dope and all that, classy, up to date, and then that is still just tailored for Christian events.
gospel.
Yeah.
I have something to say about that. I'll put a pin on that. Steve, there's something you wanted to say.
I wanted to say this.
Uh-huh.
Of course, hatuwezi sema ati if a Christian event is going to a secular location, ati it's entirely wrong or entirely, bad.
Uh-huh.
Like for me, I support it in on some level. But
Yeah.
now my problem is it can become problematic. Like it can be used as a powerful tool, yes, for outreach, like the way Forerunner anasema. Sindio?
Yeah.
You can be able to reach Gen Zs and all that. And Christ can still be at the center of this event. But now the problem or ile challenge neza kuwa nayo ni like how sure we hatuta prioritize that emotional hype. You understand?
Yeah.
Like to prioritize like the hype over holiness, or like can lead people into temptation somehow, Kuna believers, by the way, wakiona umeenda place fulani ati a Christian rave or a Christian event, maybe wana associate hizo vitu na like sinful environments. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
they must be all this, I think.
yeah. Yeah.
You'll also get old one day.
Manze. So okay, so I guess what I'm saying is how can we draw the line yenye tunaweza focus on Christ? Una understand?
Yeah.
To focus on the entertainment and the hype. Isi overshadow the genuine worship
Yeah.
like we should have in these events. Like that's the problem I see with these Christian raves.
With the Christian rave.
Because
Yeah.
even I actually not if Liverpool knew that place is used for secular events.
He probably, but they
No,
love
he
that.
knew. I feel like he knew.
Yeah.
And
Oh, he knew?
Yeah. My point is,
Yeah.
like, let an event place just be an event place. Anybody can use. Because I feel like when you just say that this is just like a secular events
Yeah.
like venue and this is just like a gospel events venue.
Yeah.
Apart because I understand it wouldn't make sense like having a secular event in a church,
Yeah. Yeah.
But for this like designated areas for events, let like just events places be event places, because we'll be limiting ourselves if we just say I'm thinking from now I'm having this event place. Probably I call it the Apollo's house, where people just come and do their gigs and everything.
Yeah.
If I'm only hosting secular events in my venue, I'll be limited. So watu wa gospel wakikuja sitapata hiyo do. Unaget? Alafu secular day like ni secular events na happen. Kuna time in peak season, yeah?
Yeah, there are low events.
Yeah.
There are no low number of events.
Yes. Unaget? So I feel like if I'll put myself in a cocoon as a business person,
Okay.
nikisema this place is only dedicated for a particular set of events.
Okay.
Not unless it's a playing ground na tuenda kuball huko, tunaruka trampoline, hiyo tunajua huko ukienda ni kwa kucheza peke yake.
Also, I don't see why there is a conflict because hiyo ni Nairobi Street Kitchen na like it inaleta hiyo circus, but what about Uhuru Park? People do go there for Bible study.
Yeah.
People do go there for events like on Friday. M-Pesa was celebrating 18 years.
Yeah. Very secular.
Very secular, sindio? Like
it was half, right?
Yes, it was
Oh,
half.
they were mixed.
Because even Pambio walikuwa
Okay.
And Kara Voices, yeah.
sindio?
Right.
And Kara
Yeah.
Voices.
Yeah.
So unapata like I don't see why hiyo conflict ina contradict vitu mingi sana kwa sababu if this unasema like Nairobi Street Kitchen secular place, Uhuru Park it's for everybody, like Uhuru Park inakwanga it's a government
It's a public place,
sindio? A public place. Anything can be done there, sindio?
Yes.
you can bring more events there, like events mingi zinafanyikanga hapo. Not only that, even Kenya National Theatre, vitu mingi zifanyikanga huko, si ndio?
Yes.
But
do you know why I will raise this question?
Yeah.
Because the alternative location the event was supposed to be held, an incident occurred. And sin is sin, no matter what.
Yeah.
The
But
mass
they
house.
left the event for this other one because there's less sin.
No, it's not because but either way, it was still a similar, like, kind of venue like NSK. Yeah, so you can pull that card,
But
bro.
you can't distance yourself over some things
Yeah.
because of the gravity of it.
I get you, but if you check the initial place that the event was supposed to be
Yes.
held is like right now, all events that were scheduled for that particular month, actually for March, because there was even a live recording
They
that was
cancelled.
actually, they were all cancelled there.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, like the cancel culture in Kenya right now, it's just something like a little bit to feel ish
because
about
of
it.
people.
We'll all cancel. So it's not only just like that service that was cancelled to be held in that particular venue. So I don't know, bro. When you think that also, Steve, there's something you said about the activities done there.
Yeah.
It probably will conflict, you know, and people probably tend to maybe influence to this other side.
Yeah.
So I've attended that service, not the first time, not the second time.
Okay.
So this is the lineup. Normally people just go there to worship. Actually, we have had, like, because the other times we have had instance where we even had Masi Masika still in the same venue. Yeah.
Ilikuwa bado that service.
That service at NSK, it wasn't the first time.
NSK bado.
But NSK, like, that
Okay.
has been the venue since it started. Like, this
okay.
was the fourth edition. Since it started, it has always been hosted there. So I see no problem in that. We pray, we share the word, and we even took the Holy Communion right there. And it was like, that was, oh, man. That's
Yeah.
it. Like, sharing the bread.
Yeah, that was unique.
Yeah.
It's quite expect. In all honesty.
Okay, but you know, you can also baptize someone anywhere. Like everyone is given the mandate to baptize someone.
Yeah.
Share the bread and
Right.
Oh,
yeah, you
that-
can just do it.
for baptism, I can agree. But you see, like for me, personally, naendaga PCA, okay? So you find like the Holy Communion thingy, venye ilifanyika, like they will, ingeleta conflict sana.
What kind of conflict?
Like you find like PCA, you know, PCA is ni kanisa ya Mutaratara, ni kanisa inafuata like nini, ama even Catholic, I guess. Like you have to go for those classes for Holy Communion, like inaitangwa catechism classes.
As
You
in
get-
like kuna venye
not
you're
everyone
not,
can partake of the Holy Communion.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've not gone for catechism classes, you get.
Okay.
So you find like you have to go for
Interesting.
these catechism classes, so that you can be certified to be a Holy Communion partaker. You get.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like
so kuna watu kwa hiyo Limobliss concert maybe
Yeah.
hawako qualified kuchukua Holy Communion.
As
Yes.
per the church.
as per the church.
But I
nini,
believe
like ACK
I
and-
believe maybe the lesson that you go for you to take the Holy Communion is the knowledge behind the reason. It's like touching base. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
But kuna verse kwa Bible hata nimekumbuka. I think it's in Corinthians. I don't know if it's 1st or 2nd Corinthians, but it says that like Paul tells of like the dangers of chukuaing Holy Communion without, I think, repentance. You know, like kuna basics unafaa.
Yeah, because the Holy Communion is taken seriously. Like even before like mpatiwe like in our church, before you're given, like siwezi sema ni rituals, like there's a process, there's a procedure.
Yeah.
Like you start first with some prayers nini hapo na pale, Apostles' Creed, and then you take the Holy Communion. After taking the Holy Communion, you sit down, you as yourself, you pray to yourself, and then now
I think in
the
1
Reverend-
Corinthians chapter 11 23 to 7 it says, for
Yeah.
whenever you eat this bread and drink this cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. So then whoever eats the bread or drinks the cup of the Lord is an unworthy manner, will be guilty of sinning
Wow. Yeah.
against the body and blood
So
of the Lord.
what
So
is
there
an
a
unworthy
rule
manner?
Yeah.
by not confessing your sins.
Confessing
Right.
your sins.
Yeah.
So like I feel like generally say like you need to like have given your life to
Yourself
Jesus Christ.
and have been baptized.
And-
Yes.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Yes.
because even like
Baptism through immersion.
Yes.
yeah, because kwetu
Wow.
always pia ukienda hizo catechism classes na ujakuwa baptized, pia unaenda classes za baptism and then you're baptized. Like you have to be baptized first and then you are certified now to the catechism classes. Now you are.
Oh,
like you have to be baptized first, then you. So
go
that
to
you can,
the classes, then you can.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's in a way
Religious.
No, okay, religious as well. But my word will be so like why are limiting because like
how
I can imagine like a soul that has just like come to Christ. Like let's say like it's been like 2 months in and already you're doing your things right, everything is good. So you'll be
but maybe the ministers need to put these things out.
Yeah.
Like those who are coming, if you're baptized, please come and all that, so that it becomes
easier.
So like nilikuwa nasema like 2 months in imeokoka and everything, so bado sijaenda hizo baptism na hizo ndio zote, so kwa such services fai kunywa
haufai kupatake ni hata kama ni hiyo.
But it depends with different doctrines. I think also has that to be clear on where you are going to have your fellowships.
Wow, interesting.
My point was like, how do you draw the line? You understand? Like, how do you guys, how are we able to prioritize genuine worship? Like, unaona ile those bloodlines.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, because I understand kuna time maybe the hype inaweza kuwa like iende overboard, tusahau we are here for Christ maybe. I don't know. That's the danger I see with it.
Yeah.
I don't have issue with the location really, because I mean, like the way you're saying, like what matters ni Kenya ina happen hapo.
Yeah.
Sindio, and what is being worshipped there, I guess. So the bloodlines ndio, I think that's the issue I have, because I don't know if you understand what I mean. How are people or vile au host wana host hiyo event wanezaji side ya the attendees kukua bado focused on Christ, wasikwe emotionally taken away, wasahau we are here for Christ, we are not here for the hype. Yeah, I think that's the question I had.
The question.
Because we're not only talking about like locations. Indio.
Yes.
Sepia, it's the fact that it's a Christian party. It's a Christian rave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like I feel like that before that they had already thought of this, because like normally on Wednesdays they normally have like Bible studies, like the same group that organizes that service event.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday they normally have like evening services. Yeah, a midweek service where it's a Bible study kind of structure. And I feel like with that, if you know them from there and now you come to know them from that service, I feel like it will be a good platform as well to go and grow yourself after that. If probably a soul is born again during that service, then that will be another good avenue for that.
Are there any other Christian events zenye zina hosting Christian raves other than that service?
That service, I feel like it's the first one.
Maybe particular churches. Maybe just in-house churches.
In-house churches,
churches,
yeah. But I feel like that service ndio imeboom sana right
ndio
now.
imekuwa like wana host sasa like Christian parties kabisa.
Yes. Oh,
talking about the party. What was happening? Apollo's stranded.
Celeb.
Talking about the party, what happened?
I was just chilling, Kingsley. Actually, I thought we are closing the pod.
Not really. We have to close. We close with that.
Yeah.
That's
But
the key to our dialogue.
ilikuwa fiti.
Yeah,
hata
yeah.
hivyo nasema hizi stories are like emotional hype and what and what. Like personally I felt it was very Christian like, because I didn't even expect kuchukua Holy Communion.
Oh yeah.
You know, like that's very unique. I don't think nishaenda like a Christian thing.
Yeah.
And they had Holy Communion. That was very Christ-centered.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd say like the conversation today was inspired by the video I did for TikTok, because like when I wrote that, like, yo guys, this is like a Christian party, and everyone went wild in the comment sections. Were like, yo, sijui nini.
You're copying the world
way, and literally that was just like kind of party, like I can say Christ party. Right now you're getting into the Easter mood, like it will be the Easter party, you know. So I don't know.
Cool downs, my brothers. Cool downs.
We love to know from you, our dear listener. What's your POV like? What do you think about this whole thing about having Christian venues and secular venues having events being hosted in Christian events being hosted in places that will be termed as secular venues, because like we wouldn't term them personally because they have not like come out to say we are only a secular venue, you know, not unless it's like, you know, it's just clubbing, people come here to drink and to do their things, you know. Yeah. So let us know, and also your general view on Christian partying. It's been such a good episode with none other than
Steezy.
Samuel Foro.
How was it for your first time?
Bit shaky.
It was not for that. It was just there.
okay.
Thank you so much. And my name is Kingsley. Second time in a row. So happy, and be hosted by Apollos, man. How do you feel?
I feel nice.
You feel to host me?
Yeah.
That was a big interview you've done.
Continue keeping it here on the home of fresh and classic hits. And this has been The People in the Room. See you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
People in the Room on Pearl Radio 96.9 FM every Friday at 11 a.m. and the repeat is on Saturday at 3 p.m. because we are all in this together.
Pearl Radio 96.9 FM, the home of fresh and classic hits.